Well, hello there, and welcome to another Minecraft showcase, or tutorial. Honestly, I'm not really sure what the difference is between the two anymore, because I rarely go block by block with tutorials anymore, and I always explain my showcases. So, anyway, let's get to it. So, obviously you see a piston head on the floor, and a tripwire. Basically, this is an elevator. So, it'll only work for one floor, but if you want it as a secret entrance to your base or whatever, just walk in here, and then walk on, and you're in your base. And then to get back up is a little more tricky because when you get pushed up, you hit the tripwire again. But all you have to do is come up here and jump out. And jumping is obviously not a foreign concept in Minecraft, so not a big deal. So it's just a pretty simple thing, and obviously you don't have to use a tripwire. You can trigger this with any kind of redstone input you want. So maybe like a keycard system, or a combination lock or whatever. Just whenever the output is here, it'll be down. Whenever the output is off here, it'll go up. So yeah, I just like the tripwire because it allows you to just walk right onto the platform and drop down. So yeah. So how this works, it's actually pretty simple. Let's see how much of these walls I can break without breaking anything. This. It's basically just an ABBA gate, or I don't know if it's considered a gate, but an ABBA circuit combined with a piston extender. So, break all of this. So what you have here, well, you know what, let me break this as well. Okay, so when you hit that tripwire, it triggers this redstone dust, which turns off this torch, and it turns off this ABBA circuit. Now, for those who don't know, an ABBA circuit, spelled ABBA, is a circuit that turns off in the reverse order that it turns on. So in this case, we have two pistons here. Let's break this away so you can see. We have two pistons here, and the bottom one is a sticky piston, the top one is a regular piston. And they're just holding each other up. Now, the problem with pistons is that when a piston is extended, the top part is actually a tile entity, which means you can't push or pull it anymore. So if we want to have this piston pull this one down, this one has to turn off first, and then this one has to turn off. But in order for that to happen, So in order for that to happen, though, when we extend it, we need this one to turn on first, and then this one, so that it'll extend properly. So basically, we need to turn it off from top to bottom, and on from bottom to top, and so an ABBA circuit is perfect for that. And the way an ABBA circuit works is you have repeaters going into blocks, and then next to each of the blocks you have redstone dust, and this redstone dust will go into your first input, then into your second input. This one's coming out of this block to your second input. And then you have repeaters going around back on the side. So what happens is, when you turn it on, this will get powered first, because this block will get powered before the repeater sends a signal through here. And then once it comes through here, then this second part will turn on. But then when you turn it off, even though this block will turn off first, it will still be powered by this repeater because of the delay. So this one will turn off first, and this one will turn on, which is exactly the behavior we want. So this line just leads into the bottom piston. This line just leads into the top piston, or at least the place where the top piston will be when it's extended. And yeah, and so it just creates a double piston extension. And then when you step onto that tripwire, this whole thing turns off, which means the top part turns off and you drop down to here. And then the bottom one turns off and pulls it down, and you drop down another block, and that makes you flush with this floor. So that's pretty much all it is. And obviously, like I said, you can use anything, not just a tripwire. You can use any input system. Now it does have that issue where if you stand on it, it'll keep resetting, and that's just because I'm using a tripwire. So when it drops down, I'm no longer touching the tripwire, so it pushes back up. But then I am touching the tripwire, and so it creates that kind of clock thing. But most of the time when you're using this, it gives you enough time to walk off. Oop, why didn't that trigger? It gives you enough time to walk off, so it'll drop down and then you walk off before it pushes back up, and it's perfect. And if when you're doing this in your world, if you want a different delay so that it lasts longer, you just play around with these repeater delays. This one will change how long it takes to actually turn on and off, and then these will change how fast it moves. Be very careful when you mess with these. If it's too short a delay, then the pistons won't actually work properly, because this one will still be extended when this one tries to pull it, and it won't actually work. So be careful with how you actually set up your delays, but this is where you would change the delays for all the different timings of this elevator. Yeah, so it's pretty simple. I like the design simply because it's completely automatic, and you just walk up to it and it drops you down. And then to get back up, by the way, is exactly the same thing. It's a button that just goes into the same line that the tripwire hook did, so it triggers the piston elevator again. So, pretty simple. Yeah. So that's it. So until next time, wait, I always forget to do this first. Until next time, keep elevating and keep redstoning.